you can still receive justice.
In the little over a month since the warrant for Carolyn Bryant Dunham turned up in the basement of the LaFleur County Courthouse, protesters have kept up the pressure on authorities to act.
And on that warrant for August 29, 1955, was Roy Bryant, J.W. Milam, and Mrs. Roy Bryant.
And authorities from District Attorney Wayne Richardson all the way to Mississippi Attorney General Lynn Fitch have met those protests with relative silence. Each said only the minimum, that neither thought there was enough evidence to pursue the case. Now we know Richardson secretly took the case to a LaFleur County grand jury. Tuesday, he announced the week before that grand jury, like others before, had found insufficient evidence to indict Dunham. A family member of hers I talked to about the time the case went to the grand jury told me in no uncertain terms Ms. Dunham remained in North Carolina with no plans to return to Mississippi. Meantime, protesters tell me the Till family had not been made aware of the presentation to the grand jury, much less its verdict.
The family and the organizations are very disappointed with Dwayne Richardson's and the DA offices and their decision to convene a grand jury without informing the community nor the family.
Protesters have long said they would march in the streets if they didn't get action from authorities. They have made it clear this non-indictment does not satisfy their expectation. So what's next?
Pushing petitions to show state and as well as the governor our dissatisfaction with their decisions.
So while we might expect the protests to continue, it seems clear the Mississippi justice system has once again washed its hands of the Emmett Till case, for now. In Greenville, Dennis Turner for NBC News.
Hey, what's going on, YouTube? Thank you for joining us on Bro Code once again. All right, here we have this story which a lot of people do know about. A lot of people know about the Emmett Till story and a lot about that murder case.
Our first glimpse at a copy of an unreleased memoir from the woman at the center of Emmett Till's murder. Carolyn Bryant Dunham is the woman who accused the 14-year-old of whistling at her before her husband and a group of men brutally killed him. Marion Brooks tonight shares the contents of this memoir and why they've now led to a new controversy in this case.
The manuscript entitled "I Am More Than a Wolf Whistle" was to be kept in a university archive until the 2030s, but it began to surface in the last few days, and we obtained a copy today. In it, Carolyn Bryant Dunham basically sticks to her story.
In August of 1955, Carolyn Bryant was 21 years old. In her telling in the unreleased manuscript of her memoir, Emmett Till did whistle at her, but only after grabbing her hand and waist and propositioning her in the store in Money, Mississippi, much like she testified in court in September 1955, shown here in a reenactment of the trial transcript produced by NBC Chicago and Collaboration Theater.
What did he do?
He caught my hand.
Will you show the court just how he grasped your hand?
It was like this.
Was that a strong grip or a loose grip?
Strong grip.
What did he say when he grabbed your hand?
He said, "How about a date, baby?"
To the surviving witness, Emmett Till's cousin and best friend Wheeler Parker, the account in the leaked manuscript hurts.
It's just sad. It's really sad to see things that are happening. It's kind of sickening, you know.
In the NBC Chicago documentary, The Lost Story of Emmett Till, Wheeler Parker and fellow witness and cousin Simeon Wright both say nothing happened in the store. They admit Emmett whistled, but nothing more. Chris Benson, co-author of Wheeler Parker's upcoming book, A Few Days Full of Trouble, flat out calls Carolyn Bryant's version of events in the manuscript lies.
We believe she's continuing to tell lies. This is a person who we strongly believe had something to do with the abduction, but there's no way to establish that as a legal matter at this point.
Carolyn Bryant Dunham's husband, Roy Bryant, and his half-brother, J.W. Milam, were tried and acquitted for Emmett Till's murder back in 1955. 4 months later, Bryant and Milam admitted to killing Emmett Till in an article in Look magazine. We made attempts to reach Carolyn Bryant Dunham today by email and phone, but were not successful. So will this manuscript impact the legacy of Emmett Till?
For some people will buy into what she's saying, and some people won't. And when you read and go over everything, you see a lot of contradiction, a lot of fabrication, a lot of lies, and it's just incredible, mind-boggling.
I think people are going to be outraged. It really disturbs us that there can never be justice in this case. And it's offensive to us to read what this woman has to say now at the end of her life when she could have come clean.
Carolyn Bryant Dunham is 88 years old and living in North Carolina. The release of this manuscript comes just days after the discovery of an arrest warrant from 1955 that included Bryant Dunham's name, a fact that she acknowledges in the manuscript.
So, bro, I mean, you know, you seen the stories, man. What's your thoughts, man? Before I even say anything, I want to know what's your thoughts. Bro.
I'm just appalled, but I'm not surprised. You know what I mean? After all these years, they still cannot find justice for that young man at the time. You know, this lady's well off into her 80s. Even if they did prosecute her, I mean, she's close to death anyway. You know, but there still needs to be some type of justice for this young man. I understand that we were living in different times back then, though, and then in certain cities and states, especially southern states, down there is a lot different than it is up north. So I know their laws were a lot different, and they pretty much did what they wanted to do. And we all know how they was doing black folks down there. And it's still to this day. There's still prejudice, and not just down south, you know, up north, different countries, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a shame that they still cannot find justice for this young man. It's just appalling. You know?
It is. And the fact that, you know, so we know about Black Wall Street. If you don't know about Black Wall Street, I'll give you a brief understanding of it. So basically, it was one of those all black towns, okay, post-slavery, that was built by all black hands and ran by all black people, okay? And this town was destroyed based off of the lie of a Mazunda, what they call her, the white woman, okay? You know that? So basically based off of her lie saying that a black man raped her in the elevator, okay? That's what propelled Black Wall Street to be completely demolished, completely destroyed. Now, fast forward through time on this broad, years later, I think just recently, said that wasn't true, that she didn't tell the truth. It was a lie.
Right, but I mean, did that justify them burning that town down and killing those people over that? I mean, where's the justice system at?
Yes.
You know what I mean? I mean, if that did happen, that had nothing to do with the town.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All that was because they didn't want the town to exist. You know, you gotta understand, those people are oppressors and they want you to depend on them. Now, we develop our own economic, social system, whatever, and we're self-sufficient, that we don't need them anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean? So with that, you know, an oppressor, your oppressor always wants to keep you at the bottom of his boot.
Definitely.
And that was just an excuse. And that ain't the only place. In Rosewood, same thing. A lady was cheating on her husband and got caught and blamed it on a black man, you know, and what they do to the people in Rosewood, Florida, you know what I'm saying? So the list goes on and on and on and on, you know what I mean? It comes from a lie and just jealousy and hate.
Yes.
And unfortunately, even generations later, we're still being affected by this, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So much so to where, you know, there's a name for them, which is Karen. Nowadays, they're calling anybody a Karen, no matter what color you are. But back in what we know as being a Karen, or we know this is a piece of shit bitch. And my French, okay, you know what I'm saying? But I gotta call it like it is, you know what I'm saying? Because only a cave bitch would do shit like that.
Right.
Only a cave bitch would be primal like that, to lie on somebody. Watch them get killed. Watch them lose their lives. And be okay with it. Be smiling in pictures and everything, you know, after the court trial. You know what I'm saying? Only a cave bitch would do that type of shit. So, you know, we got to understand the dynamics that we're living in. I like the fact that people are calling out these quote unquote Karens, but we got to start writing our own narrative, okay? Because as you seen in the video clip, they weren't going to release that until 2030. Year 2030.
She'd probably been dead already.
Yeah.
You know, what's the big deal?
She'd have been dead, but now guess what? Years later, see, they can change the narrative of the story because all the older folk is gone. Now it's the younger people trying to learn what happened, and now they can rewrite the narrative. You know what I'm saying? So that's another trick that they do. Watch out for that. We got to write our own narratives, and that's the purpose of us doing these stories right here.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying? So
it's very well said, very well put, bro.
Definitely, definitely, man. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and let you guys go. Thank you for joining us. And thank you for watching the whole video if you did. Watch it to the end. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Hit that like button. Leave a comment. All right? Share the content. All right? Do everything that you got to do to get the word out because we growing the channel, you guys. So, all right, you guys. Peace.
Peace.